Hey, everybody. Very happy Aloha Tuesday. Good morning. Um, have you advocated for something you're passionate about? Our guest, Kate Needham, founder and executive director, and Sarah Lenox, chief strategy officer of Armed Forces Housing Advocates, join us to talk about the nonprofit world, challenges, and accomplishments that they face while helping their mission. Readiness starts with a safe home. So, welcome to our show. Hi, Anna. Good
Welcome,
morning.
everyone. Good morning. So, we just have
Yeah.
to start today off with just an explanation here. So, originally, my family's been traveling, and we were supposed to be home yesterday originally, but now we're not coming home till today. So, as you can see, the lovely landscape of Oklahoma floating behind me.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
yeah.
Selena, tell everyone where you are right now.
Well, we were just joking and chit-chatting with Kate and Sarah, before we came on about where we all are. We're in all different time zones right now, but I'm in Hawaii. I leave tomorrow. It's my last day here, and so it's Kate and I were saying, "No, it's 5." And I said, "Well, actually, it's more like 4:47." Or I just felt like I needed to explain that there was a 4 first before the 5. So here's the deal. You guys are all the first humans that I am talking to. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I think it's going to be great that Kate and Sarah are going to just roll with what goes on today.
Yeah, and I'm excited for our conversation.
I am too.
I think just the whole idea of advocacy, even if you're a
Hmm.
for-profit business, right? Everybody's passionate
Hmm.
about something,
Yeah,
and you can
yeah.
really use your business to make a difference in the world. And so I'm excited about today's conversation.
Yes. So in prepping for the show, I just dived into what they do, their mission, all the things, and I'm really, really excited that we have these ladies to kind of like share some of their expertise and all the things. So I'm going to just pop up our quick little call to action that we like to use to start the show, and it's are you passionate about something to take it to the next level? Like Kate,
Yeah,
one of the founders did, with what they do. And, um, they're in the military community side of things, but I think what they're going to share today can apply to, like Anna mentioned, for business, not business, military, not business, because I think it's just being passionate about, a cause and the big word, right? Usually with nonprofit, you want to advocate, you want to be the voice for someone else that maybe doesn't know how to be a voice, right?
yeah,
So I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm excited that we have them, and we should just we'll get into it.
that's
But
right. Yes.
here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to share our screen, and we actually are going to have Pume Hanapalmer kind of start us out with,
What's up, guys? Pumehana
yeah.
Palmer here, your mindset and growth coach, back again with another Mindset Minute for you. Last week, I heard this really great quote from Anthony Trucks, shift coach and entrepreneur. He said, "Action silences doubt." Action silences doubt. Man, that hit me so hard. Now, I don't know about you, but I am so good at overanalyzing, overthinking, and eventually bringing myself down to analysis paralysis. But when I heard action silences doubt, it gave me a little bit of hope, and it allowed the pressure of the what ifs to just melt away. Okay, maybe not melt away, but at least, kind of crawl away. Now, for me, I am actually very particular with the word choices that I use. So, what I've changed the quote to for myself is action quiets the doubt. Doesn't that just sound better? Action quiets the doubt because that doubt, the what if, the worries, it's not going to go away and it almost never goes away. But for us as entrepreneurs, as small business owners, we know that we're action takers. We know that we're doers. We know that we're problem solvers. And when we think about it, action quiets the doubt. It gives us a little bit of a push to take the little steps forward. And for you, depending on what the situation is, the action might be as small as doing a Google search or as big as pulling the trigger to completely overhaul your marketing plan. Whatever that looks like for you, when you know that you take that action, you know that you are going to move your business forward, you know that you're going to service your clients, and you know that you're going to get information back because that's all it is. It's just information. So with that, my friends, I hope that helps you. And I want you to try it on for size. Action quiets the doubt. Action silences the doubt. Thank you so much for joining me. It was great to see you. I'll see you next time for your Mindset Minute. Aloha.
Wasn't that like fantastic? I think today is exactly like, yes. I mean, right? If you don't take action, which is right. Oh, wait, you're muted, Anna. I can't believe I'm actually saying that once, but you're muted. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a perfect mindset minute for today, right?
Yeah.
Because it's talking
Yeah.
about taking action. And when you feel passionate about something, when you want to advocate for something, sometimes just that one
Yeah.
first step is enough for you to
Mhm.
say, okay, I am doing my part. I am doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
I'm taking those steps, right? As opposed to sitting
Yeah.
by silently,
Yeah.
about those things you are passionate about. So, okay, let's get into
Yeah.
today's
Okay.
conversation.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah. So Anna, tell us a little bit about Kate.
All right, so Kate is the executive director, and she worked in the nonprofit industry for 15 years, serving victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. She is a veteran of the United States Navy, and there she discovered her passion for assisting military members and their families with while working as a SAPR advocate. We'll have to ask her a little bit more about that. Kate
Yeah.
co-founded Armed Forces Housing Advocates with a mission to keep all children safe as her young son tragically fell 15 feet out of an MHPI home's window due to a lack of window safety measures and proper construction. She has made it her life's work to ensure that this never happens to another child again, along with serving military families with the other plethora of issues that they experience in privatized housing, military housing specifically. So, readiness starts with a safe home.
Yeah. Okay. A little bit about Sarah. She is their Chief Strategy Officer. She is an active duty Army spouse currently stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So again, you have where we all are, all 4 different states right now, with her husband, who is a paratrooper, and her 3-year-old son. Her professional background is in sales, support, and marketing, and she serves as the Chief Strategy Officer for the nonprofit Armed Forces Housing Advocates, fighting for safe and habitable military housing for service members and their families. Um, we have some really great, fantastic humans coming on today, so I'm really excited about that.
Me
So
too.
why don't we bring them up?
Let's
So,
do it.
are you ready, Kate and Sarah? Hi,
Hi,
welcome to the
ladies. Good
show.
Hello.
morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Kate. Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for, Kate is also, she's the next early person, and she looks amazing. She looks
I
ready to
know,
crush the
right?
day. Yes.
I've
Oh
been up
my
for three
goodness.
hours, but I'm camping, so there is like a reason I look the way I look.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Ah,
natural camping chic. You all look great.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, totally. Okay, so we're going to dive into getting our coffee cup selfie out of the way because we really want to start and ask those questions about all the things. So I'm gonna, because Anna's driving again. Uh, I'm doing all the things, and it's early. But here we go. Look, we have that up, and we're just gonna go the 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, Sarah. Okay, there we are. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Mine requires 2 hands.
Okay, I need that. I mean, when Starbucks opens, I mean, Starbucks is not even
Big cup
open
of
yet, you
coffee
guys.
today, huh?
So, okay, welcome to the show, and we're gonna just jump in and ask you the first question. So, I think maybe okay, we're gonna start with Kate. Kate is aware she is going to be like on the spotlight here. Boom. Okay, so Kate, we'll start with you. But when starting running a business, for a profit or not for profit, would you share how building a brand community and leveraging social media was important for AFA? And then we'll flip into Sarah because she's your chief strategy officer, so I'm sure she's got some great tips too.
Sure. So when I started AFA with the 3 other wonderful women we opened with, One of the things that we had a really good understanding of is that the military, particularly military families, utilize social media every single day. And it's not just for communicating with their families cross country or across the world, it's for getting information from housing, it's for getting information from the branches themselves. It is the most effective way to disseminate and understand information amongst military members and military families. It's 2022. Everybody's using multiple platforms from Facebook to TikTok and everything in between. So
Yeah.
we knew in order to effectively reach military members and their families, we had to put a really strong emphasis on building a community within the military community. And something that we learned very quickly was our business is going to happen by word of mouth. So, where we help a couple of people at one installation, like at Fort Bragg with Sarah, where we met her, we've now served hundreds of families there because that spouse's page on Facebook or that group of friends that follow each other on Instagram are messaging each other, they're tagging us. And we just kind of went from there and we helped Sarah's family actually. And then she came on board and helped us really build a significant brand.
And isn't that how, like, it happens with a nonprofit? Like, is when somebody sees what you do and they're like, "I want in, I wanna help too," or like you said, you just said you had helped Sarah a little bit. I mean, and then you're like, "I am invested," and,
Yeah.
man, what a yeah, what a
Yeah.
um, Anna, I felt like you had a question there. Were you wanting to share something there?
Well, I was just going to say almost exactly what you're saying, but I would apply it even to like a for-profit, not just nonprofit. Is when you find
Mhm.
people that become loyal to what your mission and your purpose is, they
Yeah.
do your advertising or marketing in that sense for you because they want
Mhm.
others to them. And
Oh, yeah.
Kate, your story is tragic, right? With your little guy
Yeah.
falling out a window, like super invested in this. And so
Alright.
I feel like did I get lost? I don't know.
Yeah, just a little, Anna.
Hello?
That's okay, but I
Oh,
know I
sorry,
know what you're
guys.
saying, and I
Sorry.
no, no, you're there. But yeah, no, I'm with you, and I have to say, like Kate, you had brought up something. I've only been 7 years in, as a military spouse, and I had no idea that going through social media was really how the military spouse community, was able to. I mean, that is how you got the information fast. And I moved to my first duty station at Fort Polk, Louisiana, where not knowing anything. You know what I mean? And I thought I'll find information. I'll go to this office or I'll go to that office. But I learned better when we PCS to Fort Hood. I was, like you said, I was on that Facebook group before we even moved. I made friends before we even moved. I knew Anna before I even PCS to Fort Hood, because so that just makes sense with what you guys, when you answer that question. Sarah, do you have anything? I'm going to shift you into this part. Do you have anything to add to that, like with what Kate said?
Oh, yeah. So, exactly what she was talking about, connecting with our community
Hmm.
is thereby connecting with our audience. For all of
Hmm.
our organic and content marketing efforts through APA, we actually started with our own Facebook group. So we had access to all of our families. We had access to the service members. We could ask them questions. We could exchange information. We can get the word out fast when we needed to connect directly with our audience. So we were able to gain so much insight just by starting out small through the effort of having a Facebook group, which is great too, because it's free, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of what we're able to leverage on social media, we don't have to put tons of advertising dollars behind because
Yeah.
like Kate said, we have that word of mouth aspect of this very tightly knit community of military families. So, and she was right. I found them or they found me. I feel like they
Yeah.
found me a little bit. I found AFA through Facebook, and I, not quite to the extreme as Kate's family, but my family living at Fort Bragg, living in MHPI housing, by the way, that's Military Housing Privatization Initiative. So that is your on-post installation housing. And that's what we're talking about here. Your privatized military housing companies like
Balfour Beatty, Corvius, Liberty, or Lincoln, or whoever they are now. Hunt.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're familiar with those names, as most people who probably watch your show are as well. But we moved into MHPI housing. It was our very first PCS. So you all have some years on me. We're actually a relatively newer Army family. We've only been in he's only been in for about 3 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
upon moving to Fort Bragg, we just figured we would keep it simple, go with the on-post housing. It made the most sense for us at the time. Little did we know that the house that we accepted was going to essentially poison my son. So my son at the time that we moved was 15 months old. And this is also during the pandemic too, by the way. We started our journey in the height of COVID. It was April 2020 when we moved. So that also made the diagnosis very difficult and very challenging to figure out what environmental hazard was making my baby so ill. But he suffered for a year of chronic respiratory issues that would not cease unless we went out of state, right? So anytime we were away in our home state of Pennsylvania, his symptoms would dissipate. They would start to disappear. And the longer we spent away from that house and from North Carolina, we noticed the changes. And anyway, long story short, it ultimately came down to a precipice of where we needed additional assistance than what we were able to get on our own through the branch, through my husband's chain, through the military housing office, and I needed an advocate. And I found that advocate with Armed Forces Housing Advocates, and they got us into a safe home situation. We were able to break our lease, move into a safe house off post. We actually just bought a new home off post here. So that's been pretty celebratory for us. We like this area a whole lot. But I thought that your introduction at the beginning of this call was so poetic and so perfect, because that call to action is exactly what I felt at the conclusion of my case, when we were able to say, okay, case closed. They have advocated for me. They have helped me. My dispute resolution was achieved. Now I want to give back. And that call to action, we see that all the time, just talking with so many people now in our community. And we have only been open for a little bit over a year. And our network has grown exponentially just by what we do digitally, just by the way that we're able to connect with each other from all reaches of the country, from across branches and across different duty stations.
I think that what Kate and like the rest of you guys there at APA have really like created, sadly, right? There is a need for what you guys do. And I'm gonna just pop Kate in here real fast. But Kate, I mean, again, I poured over your website just to like really learn more about, and I just thought, gosh, I mean, I don't have a story like yours, but I have a little story, and we all do, sadly, of when we deal with our MHPI. I didn't really, and I thought, man, I didn't know enough. And the situation of you have to leave, you have to drive that U-Haul and you have to get to where you're going, because you don't have time to sit there and check out, and I thought, I didn't know. And my husband, even though he'd been in 17 years, he's like, I just do what I'm told when I go to the next station, right? And it's usually the spouses that are like, so I just think, I don't know. And I think if I had known about you guys, when if I had found you, I don't know, but I think it's something to share. But I think you're so right, is like, this is so important for social media, to kind of be a really good tool, right, to use to get the word out, because that's where we all are late at night when we're upset about pipe bursting, mold growing under the carpet or on the roof, and it's just painted over. I mean, there's all the things. So, but I think I do love what you guys said. But Kate, can you just tell people a little bit about, okay, first of all, congratulations, because you have made a year this past May. But tell everybody a little bit, like, how did you tell everybody a little bit about your organization so they know.
Sure. So Before I even do that, I just want to say something that I think is really important. I know you guys are being so kind and talking about my son's story. What I want to say is that my story is unfortunately not unique, nor is mine more tragic than anyone else's. When I got together with Sarah Klein, Noelle Patzel, and Rachel Christian and founded this, one of the principles, and this will go into who we are, is that every problem matters. It doesn't matter how small or big it is. Every single problem matters, because at the end of the day, you are in an environment that you are unsure of. You already are in a situation where you feel like you're not empowered because you're being told what to do all of the time, whether you're the civilian or the service member. And so we wanted to make sure we created an environment where anything that anyone is going through is treated exactly the same. So that was kind of one of the founding, ideas, is compassion. The other foundational idea is transparency. So one of the problems we have with the entire MHPI program is that the oversight features, the contracts between the companies and the Department of Defense are not transparent. So who AFA is a group of completely filled with all volunteers. Not a single one of us is paid. So if you donate to us, 100% of that goes to our programming. We are filled with military spouses and or veterans. So it's people who have been in the community, are actively, serving the country, or are married to someone who is serving the country. So we have a very close tie to the community we are assisting. And then we are just so passionate. As you said, this is our passion project. We're all people that have been affected by problems living in military housing. Unfortunately, like I said, these problems are not unique to one or two families. We strongly believe this is a systemic issue. Oh, there's one. That's my son, actually. Yeah, go ahead. And so we are a group of people that have a very unique understanding of the problems that people are going through. We, didn't expect to grow as quickly as we did. We've served just over 1,600 families since we opened. We have testified multiple times at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. And something very unique to us is none of us actually met each other in person, including the founders, until we went to Washington, D.C. for the first time a couple of months after we founded AFA. The reason we met was because we were all individually advocating in our communities, and through social media like Facebook, we found each other, became friends, bonded, and decided we needed to make a powerful force together to help these thousands and thousands of families. There's 700,000 families that live in military housing. That's like 1/3 of the military population. That's a significant number. So we knew that we needed to band together.
I mean, again, that just shows you the power of social media. That's how you guys start. Right, Anna?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking when Kate was talking, I was thinking, the things that you just outlined are what make your brand community, your leveraging of your marketing so powerful. You found people that have experience. You found people that have passion, that understand that community, right? And I think that that's such a huge key piece when you're looking at building something and making it as strong as possible. Now, that's not to say you can't bring in somebody that has an interest in your topic or your passion or your subject, that doesn't have any experience, and they can't grow and learn with you. That's not what I'm saying. But you've surrounded yourself with people that are willing to give free of charge, right? Because you said it's all volunteers, but willing to give their time and energy and money towards something that they feel so strongly about. I just love that. I think that's amazing what you've built. And in a year to have served 1,600 families is amazing.
Phenomenal.
I mean, let's average that down to how many per day. And you guys are working hard. This is not This is not
Yeah.
for the faint of heart, right?
No.
Yeah, we would
No.
be nowhere if it weren't for our
Mhm.
volunteers. And that's something I really want to lean into right now, is that if it were not for the selfless human beings on our team, we would not be where we are. You do not serve that amount of people without a hell of a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that they do it for free is extraordinary and unbelievable, frankly. So, just as an executive director, it's I can never thank our team enough for all of the hard
Mhm.
work that they do.
Yeah. No, I think phenomenal. Okay, I'm gonna jump into the next question, but I 100% agree that one, I think, right, you also have to be a great leader, Kate. So it sounds
Yeah.
like, I mean, it sounds like you are hitting the mark on leading a great team to be able to serve in over just 1 year, 1,600 families that you've impacted and changed. So that's amazing. So kudos to you.
Yeah, can I just
And
throw something in
yeah,
there really quick,
yeah,
Selena? I just want to say
yeah,
I think a large part of that is it sounds like you have really stayed true to your mission statement and the
yeah.
values that you founded your organization on.
Hmm.
And that is a huge key piece also. You talk
Yeah.
about compassion and empathy, and no
Hmm.
problem is bigger or smaller than anyone
Yeah.
else's because it's affecting that person, right?
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah, so much
Yeah.
to say about this. I
Yeah. I
love
know. Right. Yeah.
I love advocacy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
And what you're saying is you're passionate about
I,
advocacy, right? Yeah.
I
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
do. Selena calls me a social justice warrior for a reason, right? And this is
Yeah.
having lived many, many years in military housing. Oh boy, I have stories.
I know. Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure we all could. We could probably spend like a whole nother show just talking about that, right?
Right.
Okay, we're gonna pop in and then maybe I'll have Sarah start this one off. So I'm gonna shift over. This is our next question. Sarah, tell us how data-driven storytelling and knowing your audience has helped your mission for AFA and how that can help others in their business or nonprofits.
Yeah, so I think exactly kind of like what we just said. All of the stories that you said that you could tell, and we could go on and on about the families and the problems, big or small or all the same in equal regard. There is so much truth in numbers, right? So
Yeah.
we give our families the chance to share their stories. We give them the voice. That's why we say, we see you, we hear you, we believe you, because they absolutely need to have their voices heard, and they need to have their stories, and that anecdotal evidence serves a very, very important part in our mission, but so do the numbers. That 1,600 families, over 1,600 and counting, we're getting cases probably as we speak right now into our intake system. There's strength and there's truth in that. So that helps us tell the stories of the families who otherwise might not be able to, or they might fear some kind of retaliation, or they're not open to the idea of going public or talking to the press or going on podcasts.
Yeah.
So we represent them in that way, and we keep track of all of our data, all of our KPIs, the way that we can measure the amount of success that we have as an organization is in that number of families that we're serving and getting to some kind of dispute resolution for their problem with their home and making sure that they have a safe place to live at the end of the day. So our KPI is every single safe home we are able to give a family. But then there's also this feeling at times in doing what we're doing, and this will apply to, I think, any nonprofit or startup or small business or military spouse-owned small business. If you're just starting, it can feel like you're up against this Leviathan at times, right? We become so overwhelmed by the stories that we hear on a day-to-day basis and people that we're talking to and the problems that we're working through. Sometimes, like every case is unique. Sometimes we get thrown completely wild in different situations that none of us know how to deal with, and we have to figure out how to navigate that, just kind of off the cuff. But then when we feel that overwhelm and when we feel sometimes that vicarious trauma and start to feel morose about the nature of the work that we do, we can look at the numbers and we can look at how much progress we're making and are making every single day. So regardless of whatever you're doing with your passion, if that's starting a small business of your own, if that's starting a nonprofit of your own, or advocating with people, lean into your stories, but also lean into your KPIs and determine what is critical for your success and make that your key performance indicator.
Oh, Sarah, I love that last statement so much. Can I tell you, because there's so many, I think there's a lot of small businesses that don't understand that, that don't know how to choose the right performance indicators, that don't know what should be important, right? Yes. And I think if you could, if a small business or whatever you are, right? Whatever small business, nonprofit, startup, sole proprietor, if you can identify what those key performance indicators are and use those storytelling and that brand community and leverage that content that you're putting out there to support those things, there's no way you're not going to start to grow your community and grow your success in that way.
Oh yes, it's all about the consistency, especially with social media marketing, right? Like, I've recently learned, maybe somewhat reluctantly, but I love marketing because you're always learning. It's really about the learning and the experimenting, the A/B testing, staying on top of the trends, and getting something out of that experience. So it's always evolving, and that means that there's no room to be neophobic. And you kind of have to embrace those things and embrace those trends if you want to reach, if you're able to identify your audience and you want to reach them. Recently, we're starting to really lean into TikTok and Reels.
Yeah.
I only just downloaded TikTok for the first time the other day. And as a marketer, as someone with professional social media experience, but the social media marketing police can come get me. I don't care.
No.
That was not the moment to be neophobic, because it was kind of fun making it, but it did well. We were able to reach our audience, and we're starting to see that engagement on those platforms, on our Instagram and on our TikTok, people really showing up for the little stories that we're able to tell in fun little dancey video formats that are uncomfortable for most of us, but we do them anyway.
Right. No, I did see, well, I was on your Instagram and I did see a bunch of your reels, and I'm like, they are effective, right? But, hey, look, I say this to Anna, and anybody that listens, it's kind of like this weird thing. I'm like, oh, you know what? I learned this on TikTok. Like, I feel like I should have a t-shirt that says that, and I really feel like I should have a diploma of like life, because I have learned so much from TikTok. I don't create content on TikTok, but I learn so much, and I can totally see you guys just doing well there, because it's a message and it's a thing, right? But man, okay, I'm gonna ask Kate just a question, her take on this question. I guess, like, right, as the ED and a founder, obviously you know who your audience is because you know who you're helping, and I guess that should be like, is that like obviously an important thing that most people that are starting their business should know, so that they know what they're doing or why they're doing it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think so for my introduction, my background work is in advocacy. I'm not a business person. So something I had to learn through our mentors and our advisory board is learning who our audience is and how to attract them. It is imperative that you understand your target audience. So I went from being way too broad to being like every single military person in the world, to understanding I really needed to focus very directly on exactly who that target audience is, what their demographics are, and doing some really good market research with Sarah and the rest of the team and our mentors to understand how to speak to them. You definitely speak to a spouse with children a lot differently than you speak to a 19-year-old that lives in the barracks. Those are two different conversations. Those are two different types of content that you put out. So it is beyond important to understand the market that you are trying to speak to and the audience, and making sure that you are having not a performative connection, but a genuine one, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you also should have people on your team that understand that. We have people on our team like me that are veterans. We know how to talk to the veteran community. We have, you know, moms and dads and, you know, active duty service members, people that all have a different perspective. So they have really valuable input to understand how to talk to those different groups of people.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Speaking the language.
Yes. No, I think that's super. And I'm glad that you shared that. And I think, you guys, you've heard it from a founder of a nonprofit. You may not know everything when you're coming in, right? And it's important to surround yourself with people that can help you get to that point. And it's important that you listen to what is gonna work for your business and not just do what you think. Like, no, I'm gonna do this. Like, Kate would have run herself through the ground if she had said, no, it's every single military person. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to throw this. Can I throw this in there really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just throw this in there really quick? I feel like what you're saying, Kate, is so important because it's reminding people that there's a system and a strategy you have to put in place. Your passion is not going to be enough. You have to put systems and strategies in place to grow the way you need to grow. And while your passion is a huge piece of the pie, it's huge, right? You can't do it without that. There has to be that marketing funnel, the KPIs that you've identified, understanding your audience, doing that market research. And that can feel super overwhelming, I think. And so it's so important for a small business owner to really think through that funneling process at the start when they're just starting their business, to make sure and remember that it's an ever-changing thing, ever-changing. You know, TikTok wasn't part of your strategy until what, 3 days ago? When Sarah downloaded it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would absolutely echo that sentiment, and I would say as well that because of that evolution and the constant trends and changes that you kind of have to learn, and you're forced to learn if you're showing up and doing your research, doing your homework to do the work. Your best work as a business owner is actualized through that process of mastery and just taking the step and being brave enough to be a little bit silly on the internet. Or to learn something by connecting with someone who speaks a different language than you, so that you can better understand how you can connect with them and advocate for them.
No, I mean, for sure, right? Take, for example, like you said, you can't be serious all the time because sometimes they just won't listen, right? There's the people that just want the light stuff. And then when they're ready for the more like deeper stuff and heavier and serious stuff, they're like, oh, okay, I'm ready. I'm going to go down and see more about what AFA is about. Right. So, yeah, like I think it was Kate that did the knocking on the door one, right? I just watched and I was like, yep, I know exactly what that's all about. Right. But I laughed, but it's like, I mean, you have to know how to take some of the stuff, your own, what you do, and incorporate it into a way that everybody is kind of consuming content right now, right? To learn about your business. So, and that can apply to anybody, profit or nonprofit. So, okay. Look, I literally could talk to you guys all day long, and I realized, like, okay, we got to move into our toolkit. So I'm going to bring that up. Anna, any questions before I move us to our toolkit? I mean, I literally could talk forever, like forever.
Yeah. No, I think so. Yeah, I agree, Selena. I think that this conversation has so many pieces to it, right? We could touch on every single one, but I really love the overriding message, which is, you know, that if you stay true to your core values and your passion, and then bring in those business pieces, you can't help but grow what you're trying to create and build. And you see that with AFA. You see what you've done in the past year, and it's truly amazing. So just, you know, I'm one topic right now, you guys.
No, I'm with you too on that. Oh, Anna, you're cutting out a little bit. Oklahoma, come on, give her some Wi-Fi. Give her some Wi-Fi. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up here, and the toolkit that I want to share with you guys is when we prep for the show, and sometimes you don't know what you want to share, but again, as we were prepping, me and Anna love to dive into our guests, their website, what they do, all the things, and so I'm gonna okay. It's almost 6 a.m. That means that sixth thing here. So my brain is gonna move. I'm gonna bring this up here. Oh wait, hold on. There we go. Okay, so our toolkit is I wanted to shoot you guys over to their website, to their media link in their tab, and I just want you to read. Like if you're a passionate advocate, but look at the articles, look at the unfortunate cases that they are involved in to help. I don't know. I just was like, no, this is what I want to share. This is what I think is really important to kind of have and to So I'm gonna pull out one. I'll ask Kate real fast, but okay, I'm in Hawaii, right? And so when I was looking here, I was like, wow, it's huge in Hawaii what is happening with the Red Hill incident with the jet fuel that has gotten into the water. And who was here to help? A little bit, a lot of it, all the things. It was Kate. She's in an article talking about, and I just think that's very huge. Anyway, the articles are great, and I just in a year, Kate and Sarah, like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, just how you guys have been involved. And do you guys sleep?
No.
No.
Okay.
I don't think
no,
anybody on our team sleeps.
So, okay, no, I hear you. I mean, again, I mean, I think anybody that does decide to do nonprofit work, I am just such a huge, huge, huge fan of, in the sense of, because like you do it, like you said, you are 100% volunteer based. So this is not like you're not flying in a jet to the Bahamas, and that's not. Yeah, we can, right, one of these days. Hey, big grand tour out there, if you're looking to kind of take care of some nonprofit that does really great work, you know what I mean? And having said that, wait, I'm going to drop actually a comment, because I really, I know Anna and I are actually going to do this, but I'm gonna share a comment. It's the donate link here that you'll find in all the places that we're here. But I want you to go here to this link and just kind of look at the different ways you can donate. Because actually, I was like, oh, I'm gonna donate for this lead kit. No, I'm gonna donate. I mean, they have different ways that you can help donate and how you can help the military community. But you're helping AFA like be able to help the communities that our military families live in. So, but yeah, go here. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, it's everywhere. So you can find this link there. The link I'm also then going to share is head to our blog, and it's going to have more about Kate and Sarah and AFA. I'm going to I'm going to pop this in here. This is hard work, you guys, when you have to do it all by yourself, and Anna had to do this earlier. Okay, this is the link on our blog that I'm going to head everybody to. And this is where you can actually find the link to their media page and all the links that I'm going to share here in a minute. So we're going to head this way, and I'm going to actually have Kate and Sarah tell you guys all where to find them and how to connect. So take it away, Sarah and Kate.
So if you want to go on our website, you can go to www.afhousingadvocate.org. You can find social media. The handle is at. Love to connect with even for just a chat, answer simple questions, help, and definitely for donations in that 100% of the donations go to all of our military families.
Okay, they're all here. And again, you guys, if you are going to go to, if you're like, remember this right here, this little link is going to take you to our blog, and it's going to have all these links here, so you don't miss how to connect with them, because you should, and connect with them. Me and Anna are huge fans of LinkedIn. she just sent me a quick text, that Kate and Sarah, that said the Wi-Fi finally just does not want her to continue, but she was so excited to be on the show and to get to be able to meet you folks. But they're all here. They're all here. And again, you want to go to this top one, and you're going to go to the media link, because you're going to read these articles of how they've been involved, and how you can just see their advocacy and work in media publications. I mean, you know what I mean? So that's data driven right there, right? I can sit here and say,
oh, yes,
things,
ma'am.
but right, look at the articles and see how Kate and the rest of the organization has been involved by advocating for the ones that don't know that they have rights, right? I mean, that's
exactly it. That's exactly it.
Okay, I'm going to shift over this way. Okay, we have our tip jar. Our financial tip is coming from Caroline Beasley. It's moving expenses are deductible for military families. The military covers pretty much all expenses associated with moving when UPCS, down to hiring the movers for you. I will have this also on our blog. So we are so appreciative of Caroline for sharing today's tip jar. And I want to say, you know, I've just, before I come back to this, and the mindset minute that we had with Pumehana, where she says action, you know, deafens the doubt. And I just want to say, you guys, like, definitely have taken action. So you have not allowed something that is important as what you guys do to kind of just, well, somebody else will do it, right? Because that's somehow what sometimes people say, is they're like, yeah, maybe the other person will do it. And I cannot, no, you know, it's sad to say, like, I look forward to sharing you folks as a resource for anybody, just so they know, like, hey, I don't know, I just know now, I know a resource, like, I know somebody that knows how to fight and help you. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot on your website. It should be like a packet when you get on post. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, it should.
Thank
Yes, it should. We have talked about this very thing.
Yes.
I love hearing you say that. Love hearing
I
you
mean,
say that.
I thought, you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you one thing. Yes, I know, hey, non-military people, just for a second, I want to just talk to Kate and Sarah. One of the things on the website was like, I'm like, what? I can actually look at a house before we were just given the house at Fort Polk. You know what I mean? And I just thought, and you know, and my husband, he had been 17 years with me. He was like, that's how it works. That's how it goes. You know what I mean? Because you're just, now it's like, hey, get your kid signed up for school. Get yourself acclimated in this new thing. Find out where you have to go shop. Find out where you don't want to go shop. You know what I mean?
You're constantly reinventing your definition of home.
Yeah.
And it's so sad that it happens too often, that definition of home for our military families is not safe or habitable. But that is why we're here.
No, totally. And Angela from LinkedIn totally agrees. You should, yes. So whatever we need to do, people, if you know how to get them in some kind of way in a welcome packet, make it happen. So, Angela actually even mentioned,
hang out at a recruiter station.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just so you know.
We're going to hand out I'm going to just stay at the local Starbucks, because, you know, we all have Starbucks on every single post. That's what makes us normal. Yeah. And then be like, hi, here's a flyer. You want this, promise. Just save it for a rainy day, you know? Okay, so, I mean, this is the end of the show. I'm just going to pop this little banner up here real fast. We have our next guest. What's funny, and here Anna's driving, I'm in Hawaii, and it's like, you know, the sun's not even up, but we don't have a show yet for the next couple of days, or a couple of weeks. So we'll see you in September, where we have our guest Andrea Singas, I think, but we're going to talk about project management. You can find us on all the things on our website. Go to annaandselena.com and find how else to connect with us. But I just want to say to Kate and Sarah, thank you so much for joining Anna and I today. And I really look forward to following your mission. I'm heading over, again, I'm just going to drop this in because I think it's really important. Make a donation to this wonderful nonprofit today. Seriously, it's right there. Just go right there. That's all you have to do. $5, $10, every little bit can help, because, you know, what did they say? If 10 people donated $5, that's enough to, you know, any little bit can help. So again, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to connecting with you in the future. Kate, I connected with you on LinkedIn. Please accept, or else
Yes,
my okay,
absolutely.
good. My
Yes.
insides hate rejection. You're like, I'm only just running an organization, Selena, but sure, okay, no. But any last words from you ladies before I sign us off?
I just want to say thank you so much for having us. It's really exciting to not only talk about our mission and what we do, but how we do it. It's, outside of the military community and within, it can be really confusing,
Yeah.
especially when you don't know your rights.
Yeah.
We really do believe readiness starts with a safe home. We really do see, believe, and hear all of the families and service members, and it is an immense honor to serve the military community, and we are so grateful to be able to do so.
Big hearts to
Thank
you
you for
guys.
giving us another platform to do so.
Yes. No, you guys need to be out here like every week talking about it, not just on like TikToks and Reels. So, okay,
Thank
you
you.
guys, we'll see you in September. Again, Sarah and Kate and Alpha, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye.